Hi everybody, this is another flying rookie video, and on this video I'm gonna make try to make a quick review, and I try to make it quick of this of my Hoverthings HT-FPV quadcopter, just to discuss some of the upgrades and to also get some opinions of all of you guys on YouTube that all this particular quadcopter frame, and do some comparisons with your setup and share some information, exchange some information between what you guys got and what I do have on my frame. Okay, so I purchased this frame close to like a month ago, and I start little by little, playing with the settings and everything. I was experimenting with different ESCs and so on, and as the time went by, I started refining little by little my aircraft, but I still feel that it's not flying perfectly level and perfectly smooth like some of the others that I saw on YouTube. I saw many videos of people flying this aircraft with setups that are kind of similar to what I do have, and they fly beautiful and perfectly smooth. Okay, first of all, the flight controller that I do have is the DJI NAZA. As you can see over here, this is probably the most popular non-GPS flight controller on the market, and that part about non-GPS is going to change soon, since I ordered the GPS upgrade, antenna upgrade for this, like I guess so many of you guys that all the NASA already did. Okay, but nevertheless, still a non-GPS flight controller, and in my opinion flies better than most flight controllers out there. But I still feel that I don't have the gains set up 100%. This thing got 6 different gain settings, and I know about the first 3 that are the basic gains that you will find on any flight controller. There's roll, pitch, and yaw. But I kind of need to know what's the deal with the vertical gain, what that does. I got no clue about that. And the altitude gains, that there are 2 of them, I kind of understand what the story with that, so I don't see, I think that got something to do with the altitude hold. Okay, so I believe that one I got it, pretty much a good understanding about that, but I would appreciate anything that you guys will have to add in placing comments on my channel, or sending a video response about that. Okay, so let me start talking about the little things that I've been doing with this. One thing that I decided to do is with this is fly on 4 cells. The 4 motors that I got over here and the 4 ESCs that I got over here, that I decided to handle 4 cells. So I decided to fly this thing on 4 cells. I got running now NANOTECH 3.3 lipo battery, 4 cells, 3300, and I get around 12 minutes of flying time, but I do set up the timer on my radio to fly for 10 minutes and have 2 minutes of spare so I can bring the aircraft back. And that's with this aircraft weighing a little bit less than 600 grams. So this aircraft, and that's weighing the aircraft with the battery and all the FPV equipment installed. That's it weighs 1,560 grams with everything that you guys see here. So I know when you set up this aircraft, you have to try to balance whatever you got in the front and in the back, because this aircraft is not really symmetrical, like a normal quadcopter, and they make it like that, so that way, the camera that you mount in the front, you got a clear view of everything without having the props or the motors and the arms in the way. But you have to go to some way of get the aircraft perfectly balanced. I know the the area where you balance the aircraft, it has to be from here. So this is pretty much the middle of the aircraft, and that way you distribute the weight. I mean, the 4-cell battery that I got is a little bit heavy, but I think, you know, the equipment that I got in the front is doing a good job, you know, working as a counterweight for the battery itself. And I don't fly this aircraft at all or line of sight, so I got other quadcopters for that. So when I fly this thing, all this equipment is always mounted all the time over here. So I don't have no issues with have to, you know, somehow figure a way to compensate for the battery if the GoPro is not mounted or if this battery is not mounted or whatever. So it should be balanced, but I still feel that it's not 100% balanced. So if you guys got this similar setup where you got the GoPro, the NAZA, and this type of battery, the 3300 NANOTECH 4-cell, and battery to power the video FPV system. And for example, the one that I got over here is an 800 milliamp 3-cell SkyLipo. This battery, I think it weighs like around 75 grams. So if you guys got something like that, I would like to hear, you know, how you guys set up everything. Well, for the starters, you know, when I first put this aircraft together, I hit a speed bump, and that was with the ESCs. The NASA cannot deal with ESCs that are slow. You need to have ESCs that they are 400 hertz or above for the aircraft to fly properly. The ESCs that I did have before, they were from Hobby Parts. They were the X8RC Proton 30 amps. And the aircraft was kind of flying, but it wasn't that flying properly. So I decided to be chopping around like crazy. I've been noticing that some places they've been selling the speed controls from DJI, the ones they call it the OPTO, and they went down in price. And I found it for like $20 each in a local hobby shop around here, and I decided to buy them. And the aircraft, you know, that really improved the performance. And the best part is these ESCs, as far as I know, they are plug and play. You don't have to calibrate it with a radio, and they are doesn't have the VEC, so you can just plug it in straight to the NASA. You don't have to be worried about, you know, turning the VEC off like you would do with other ESCs out there, or removing the positive cable. You just plug it in and you are good to go. So that's a big plus with these ESCs. And now for $20 each, I purchased them on Go Nitro Hobbies. They got their own website, and it's www.gonitrohobbies.com. They sell a lot of quadcopter stuff over there. They are also eBay power sellers, so you can find that under the same name, Gold Nitro Hobbies. You can check their eBay store and buy anything you need for the quadcopters. So then again, this thing improved the flying performance of the aircraft. The motors that I got right now, they are the X8RC rocket motors that do come with Japanese-made bearings, so they are supposed to last longer and fly smoother. And also, the size of the motors, they are 2215, 920 kV. And they are designed to work on 3 cells and 4 cell lipos. These motors also, I purchased them from hobbyparts.com, and they cost me like around $13 each motor. I was considering buying the same motors but a little bit larger, the 2220s, 1500 kV, and I haven't seen people flying quadcopters with KVs that high. But it's a larger motor, and I heard people flying quadcopters. I hear the motors, and they sound like they rev faster than the ones that I got here. So I don't know if those motors, they are over 1,000 kVs, but I know definitely they're a little bit larger than the motors that I got. I've been seeing people that put motors that are really thick, that the motor's so big that it just stick out, you know, from the side of the arms, you know, like those, I think 28 something from the Tiger. Also, another thing that I added to this aircraft was the OSD, and the OSD that I got here, as you can see, is the FOXTECH Cyclops version 1.5 Easy OSD. And one thing that you can see that I did with this OSD is like I mounted, I put some chin wrap, and that's the chin wrap that you will use on the battery packs when people, I used to race RC cars and trucks, and I used to race them with nickel metal hydride batteries before the lipos came into mainstream. And after you were building the custom packs, you were wrapping the packs with this type of chin wrap, clear chin wrap. So I had some of these, you know, lying around in my toolbox, so I decided to put these over here so I can protect it. Now I understand that some people, they do have problems with this, that they tend to overheat because people, they like to transfer power through the OSD to power like a little CCTV camera, but in my case, this OSD is getting power directly from this battery and not from the main battery, and so actually not directly. It's getting power through the video transmitter. So the battery is connected to a switch that I got over here. You know, this battery right here. Connected to this switch, and then this switch is connected to the video transmitter that I got over here. This is a FOXTECH 200 milliwatt video transmitter that is hooked up to a cloverleaf antenna, and from the transmitter, the cable that's sending the video signal is also sending power, because this is the cable that you will connect directly to the CCTV camera, but it's now connected to this video transmitter. It's like a servo style, you know, wire. You got the red, the yellow, and the black. So it's getting power from the video transmitter, but the OSD is not sending power to the camera because I'm using the GoPro, and the GoPro got its own battery. So I got one of these GoPro cables that they are like an adapter that allows you to connect the GoPro to a video transmitter. So the connector in one side is a 2.5 millimeter 4-port connector, and the other end of the cable is a full-tower J connector with only 2 wires, so it doesn't have no power wire. Only got the black and the video wire, so it's connected to this. So this thing doesn't run hot at all. It just run a little bit warm. So by me having this heat shrink over here is not affecting the performance of the OSD. Also, I decided to install the OSD current sensor, but I didn't install it the way people normally will install the current sensor by using kind of putting the current sensor. For example, if you got an airplane, you will connect the current sensor between the ESC and the battery connector. That's the way it will work, because the current sensor, if you check the current sensor, you got the in and you got the out. So the in, that's where it goes to the battery, and the out, it goes to the ESC. But the problem with this thing over here is I got 4 ESCs that are connected to a power distribution board, and the current sensors decide to handle 50 amps. I got 4 30 amps ESCs, so that if you multiply that, that's 120. So I'm sure that the current sensor can handle that. So it's more than twice of what the current sensor was designed to. So what I did is like I connect 2 small wires from the power distribution board to the current sensor, and I connected on the side of the current sensor where it says in. On the side where it says out, it doesn't get anything hooked up to it. It just, there's nothing there. Just on the side on the current sensor that says in, I connect 2 wires that are going to the power distribution board. So in that way I can get the voltage. Even if I don't get the at the an accurate reading of the amperage that's being used. I don't really care about that. I care more about what's the deal with the status of the voltage of the main battery. So that's why I did. Also, if you decide to use the current sensor, you guys heard already the way I connect this, how this OSD is being powered from the video transmitter. So if you got two batteries on the aircraft, one for the video transmitter and another one for the aircraft, you have this OSD comes with a jumper. You have to remove it if you have two batteries working with this. If you plug these two batteries, when the jumper is on, the moment you connect the second battery, you're going to have fireworks and you're going to burn a million things in here. So just remember, you buy the Cyclops OSD version 1.5. Don't forget to remove that jumper that goes over here. It goes right next to these little pins over here that they are next to the where you connect the current sensor. Once you remove that jumper, everything is going to work fine, and nothing is going to, this battery is not going to conflict with this one. So just don't forget that, okay? So now the next thing that I'm going to mention is the props that I got over here. Many people, they tend to use this little, I don't know, cheap, Chinese props, but they tend to break. I don't really trust them. And they do buy, some of these funky looking color props. They come in orange or green or whatever color they come, and I don't trust them either. And I decide to put this APC props. In my opinion, these are the most durable prop on the market. They don't look fancy. They are, you got this boring, gray color in there, but they do serve a purpose and they do work. So I really like that. And they're really hard to break. So that's even better. As long as you got these props word balanced, the aircraft flies perfect with that. So the ones that I got over here is 10 by 3.8. That's why I use on these motors. These motors are designed to work with props even larger than this one. So these props, they are not making these motors break or sweat. Actually, when I finish flying FPV with this and I touch these motors, they are just a little tiny bit warm. They're not even hot or anything. So that's really awesome. Okay, let's talk about what I got here. These things here, these little foamy things that I got over here, they are that's something that wasn't meant to be used on this quadcopter. Actually, it was meant to be used on a larger quadcopter they sold on RC Dude, and they call it the next level quadcopter. I'm just going to check the website real quick. Okay, so it's the next level quadcopter. I just try to find the right name, the real name of the item that I was mentioning. Okay, the name is the next level landing gear bumper set. It comes with 4 of them, of those bumpers. So while I didn't like that much the idea of relying on this little grommets that they are included with the aircraft itself, so I decided to buy these bumpers, landing gear bumpers that I use on those large quadcopters. So when I land the aircraft, I mostly fly, in areas that are green, so I land in the grass or anything, so that's not a problem. But if I fly in an area that I have to land in the asphalt, or I have to land on concrete, I don't like the idea of the arms itself touching, the surface, because honestly, these grommets don't do nothing at all. These grommets, they are just a waste of time. They're not really protecting anything. So that's why I'm using this. And I paid for them $3.95 on rcdude.com. Okay. Now let's just talk about the GoPro over here. Just get the mouse out of the way. I got over here the GoPro that is the HT-2. That is the latest version of the GoPro. Now what's going on with this GoPro over here is that one thing that I didn't like about this aircraft is the way they show on the website that they have the GoPro mounted with just a few rubber bands. I don't trust rubber bands at all. For me, you know, this is a $300 investment, you know, a GoPro, and I mean, maybe for some people $300 is nothing, but for many people $300 is a lot. So, you know, for me to have the camera in harm's way like that, I don't really like that idea at all. You know, at first when I mount the GoPro over here, I mount it with the protecting case that is made for the GoPro, the one they call it the skeleton case that got the openings on the sides. But the problem with that is that it was too heavy, and this aircraft was way out of balance. So I said, you know what, I guess I have to mount the GoPro the way everybody mounts it. So I decided to use my cheaper GoPro, my old GoPro, the one that is the GoPro 960. And I mean, because I said, you know, if I'm going to risk one of my GoPros, I'd rather risk the cheap one. And I've been flying with that GoPro all this time. It works okay, it does their job. But I really want to take videos on 1080, and I want to take videos that are more clear. And also, this GoPro helps me to have a better FPV experience than the other one, because the live feed that I get, it looks way better than the live feed that I get with the old GoPro. So I was trying to figure ways to protect at least the lens, because I heard the lens, if you break, you crash and you damage the lens on the GoPro, the lens costs, you know, like $100. If you send the camera back, they're going to charge you like $100 to mount a new set of lens. Not to mention all the damages that you may cause into the GoPro case, or even the LCD display. So I saw many people on RC groups that they start buying this lens, protecting lens kit that they call it LayerLens, and they are sold on getfpv.com or rcmanuals.com. Both of them is the same guy. I think the name of the guy that invented the LayerLens, I think his name is Tim Nielsen. He's from New York. So the thing when you buy the LayerLens is that you have to use the lens itself that comes on the GoPro case, that they are removable. You have to take that lens. If you got like a spare case, you have to remove the lens of that case, or you can buy brand new lens, you know, replacement lens for the case. You can buy on Best Buy, or you can buy on eBay or the GoPro website, and then you can use it with a LayerLens kit. Now, the LayerLens that I got here is not the one that everybody's buying for this aircraft. Every single person out there, they're buying the regular one that it just protects the lens of the GoPro, but everything else in the rest of the camera is exposed. I didn't like that at all. So I just keep, you know, surfing, looking around the Get FPV website, and I found that they have this other LayerLens kit. Now, this LayerLens kit that I got over here is not only protecting the lens, but it's protecting the whole front of the camera. So let me just get it close. So as you can see, it's like a clear, clear plexiglass plate, and you got these little plates, black plates over here that they are against this Velcro strap that wraps around the lens. So the plate. So it holds the plate in place, but also it holds the camera in place. So it's like a really stiff and secure way of mount the camera. It's way better than using the stupid, rubber bands that this frame was meant to use. This is it's way safer, and this thing is almost like a 1/4 inch thick. So the camera is going to be completely protected in the front. So if you crash nose down, at least you know that it's very likely that the GoPro is going to survive, and not only the GoPro, but the lens and the LCD display is going to be protected. So you can see it's really thick. So I'm using two Velcro straps to hold the GoPro in place. I'm using the one that came with the LayerLens kit. This LayerLens kit is the one that is designed for the Zephyr flying wing. The guy from getfpv.com or icmanuals.com, he sells that airplane on his website. That airplane got like that flying wing got like a compartment that's designed to accommodate the GoPro. Okay, but the problem is that compartment doesn't really cover the GoPro in the front. So you have to use this to protect the GoPro in place. The only thing that I have to do is I have to do a minor modification, because as you can see on this side, you can see that it's at the end, at the perimeter of the plate itself, you see that I got these little portions of the plate that are sticking out from where the plate ends. So it was the same thing down here. I had like 3 portions sticking out downward and didn't let this thing sit properly, so the GoPro was kind of looking up a little bit. So what I did with the Dremel is I cut those 3 portions in the bottom, so that way the camera can sit perfectly level in the front mounting plate of the GoPro. So now it looks pretty much flat. So it used to be like this. It used to have 3 of these things sticking out in the bottom, but now it's corrected. Now I don't have that problem anymore with that. So now it works properly. What I'm going to try to do, if possible, I'm going to try to contact the person that designed this and see if he can make like a different version that is directly designed to work on this particular frame, because this particular frame is getting really popular and a lot of people is buying the LayerLens from him. So if people see this product with that modification from the factory, they're going to buy even faster, okay, because of that, because it's going to serve 2 purposes. It's going to protect the whole face of the GoPro, and it's going to keep the GoPro in place. Now the second strap that I got over here is the one that you will buy for those guys that fly helicopters. I don't fly helicopters, but if you got like the T-Rex 600, this is the same strap that you will use as a battery strap for the helicopter, because I mean that's what the package says. The package says that it's for the T-Rex 600. I don't know if that's the way you mount the battery, but this is the battery strap that you will use in there. There's another thing that I have over here, but I will have to remove the GoPro and show it. Okay, so I gotta remove the main battery strap first. Let me also disconnect the cable, and then I have to take the other strap that comes out from the bottom. You can see this thing is out, and the GoPro is out. You can see, I got it right here. You can see the plate by itself. So I put over here something that is like a sticky pad. I know this guy from LayerLens, he sells these pads with some kind of kit that allows you to mount the GoPro, but I didn't have the need to buy, that kit. I just check on my toolbox. If you guys, besides flying quadcopters, if you guys race RC cars and trucks, like some RC cars and trucks, they got, like a really soft sticky pad that's really long, that it goes on the battery mount, and it helps make the battery sit in one place. You don't let the battery have any play when the battery is mounted on your RC car, on your RC truck, and it tends to be as long as the battery itself. And you stick it on that bar or battery strap, that in the type of battery strap that you will use on, mostly you will find like a 10 scale or short course vehicles. They go mounted with like a poly clip, so they put that so that way the battery is secure and it stays in place. So I put 2 of those together over here, and the nice thing about this is that this thing is soft and it helps with the vibration. So this thing will absorb some of the vibration of the aircraft itself when you mount the GoPro over here, so it really helps. But the best part about this is that this thing also will prevent the GoPro to, you know, like to slide to one side or the other. Even if the GoPro is mounted with the Velcro or anything, the GoPro could shift position, especially if you guys do, you know, 3D FPV. You know, I just started doing loops and all kinds of crazy things. The GoPro might shift position. I don't know if that could possibly happen, but if you have it with those funky looking, you know, rubber bands, probably it will, and that's not safe. So, you know, this thing also helps, you know, to make sure the GoPro stay in place. So that's why I mount this. So this thing is made by different companies. Like the ones that I got over here is for the Tamiya touring car. So it could be any of the touring cars from Tamiya. The one that I had was the Tamiya front-wheel drive FF03 touring car. So you can check on the Tamiya website, check on the part list, and look for this. But also I know that Associated, Team Losi, and some other brands out there, they make this thing. So you have to just cut it. They are like a 1 centimeter thick. So just cut it in a way that, you know, it's gonna be like 1 centimeter by probably by 15 centimeters long or something like that. So just cut them like so it will match the width of the GoPro mounting plate, and then just put one next to the other, and it's gonna pretty much be the same size at the bottom part of the GoPro. So the GoPro pretty much is gonna completely seat on that, and it's gonna help. So for me, there's no better way to mount the GoPro on this aircraft. Now this is something that I'm gonna start. There's something I'm gonna do soon with this aircraft, and it's gonna be not really. It's gonna be something that I haven't seen anybody out there doing before. And I did this not with the GoPro. I did it with another of my quadcopters. I got a Gaui 330 XS, and I use a regular CCTV camera on my Gaui. But also I use this little HD camera that is a spy camera. It looks like a car remote. This is the class 11. Okay, this camera, it works nice. I don't say the video quality can compare with a GoPro. I mean, but it looks decent. The problem that I have with this camera is, for some reason, the battery went bad like really fast. In a matter of a couple months, the battery was lasting probably like 3 or 4 minutes, and the damn thing was dying on me. So I'll have two choices: either try to repair the battery, you know, replace it somehow, or toss the camera away. So I said, you know what, it has to be a third option. So I had on my room, because I had previous, you know, I had some Bluetooth. I'm like probably, since I started using Bluetooth, you know, headsets, I had probably like 10, you know, since I got my first one back in 2004. And some of them, they came with a charger. They use a mini USB, just like the one that you see that this one uses. It's a mini USB. Okay, so the difference between this camera and all the other previous versions of the spy camera is that this one, you can record and you can have this camera powered by external source at the same time. Like sometimes people, they use this camera and they got a mini USB charger on the car, and they put this camera as a dash cam, and the camera is being charged while at the same time the camera is recording. So the camera is not going to go to disk drive mode. Disk drive mode, that means that the camera is going to be ready to transfer the video data from the camera into the computer. It won't go into disk drive mode like the other cameras. So why this? I went to where I got all my old chargers and all my old electronic stuff, and I found an old charger that I don't use anymore. Now all my Bluetooths, they work with a micro USB connector. So I decided to mutilate the charger and remove the mini USB connector, as you can see over here, and I figured out where the positive and the negative was, because this one comes with the, you know, you can see it comes with a double wire, and I know one of the wires got, you know, like white lines, and the other one is just completely black. So I say, well, the one with the white lines has to be the positive, and the one that's completely black is the negative. And then I connect that to a servo connector. So as you can see, I got a Futaba J servo connector over here, and these are power connector. This one doesn't have the signal wire, only got the positive and the negative. So I got like a big package of these connectors that I purchased on eBay. It came like with 10 connectors for like $5 or something like that, and it came with the wire and the connector. It's like probably like a foot long or something like that, the wire. But I coil it the way you see it right here, and when I plug this thing to my receiver, since my receiver is 5 volts and all the USB devices work on 5 volts, I managed to give a new lease of life on this camera and be able to take videos on this camera throughout the whole flight without having this camera to turn it off on me on mid-flight and losing, you know, the opportunity to take, you know, great video from the air. So this thing, I called GoPro and I asked them if you can record from the GoPro and have it hooked up to a charger at the same time if you are using the skeleton case. And they told me yes, the GoPro is designed to work as at the same time it's charging, as long as you don't have it connected to a computer. Because if you're charging the GoPro with a computer, the moment you turn the GoPro on, it's going to go to disk drive mode. And the GoPro, what it's going to do is it's not going to record or anything. It's just going to set itself to be ready to transfer information from the GoPro into the computer. But if you're just going to, just a charger, a USB charger, mini USB charger, the GoPro is going to work and it's going to record, and it's not going to turn off or anything because it's going to be externally powered. And since when you fly aircraft, most of the aircraft, the receivers, they send 5 volts to, you know, whatever accessories, you know, servos or whatever you got connected to the receiver, 5 volts DC. You don't need anything special to power the GoPro. So this thing is a great idea in my opinion. So I'm going to be using this on this aircraft. Now, I'm not going to use this same one that I got here for one reason. As you can see, the wire that I got over here that connects to the GoPro audio output, this wire is L-shaped, as you can see over here. You don't want this wire to be straight, because if you crash, if this wire was, you know, coming straight, this connector was coming straight, it's very likely that that thing is going to jank and it's going to damage the GoPro inside, and you don't want that. So that would be the case with this. If I connect this thing on the side and I crash, you know, and I jump nose down, whatever hit this thing is going to destroy the GoPro because this thing is straight. So I went on eBay and I typed, so you guys can do the same thing too. I looked for mini USB. I typed on the search mini USB charger angle. I typed angle mini USB charger. And don't buy the chargers that are the house chargers that they got, you know, like a normal USB cable that you just connect. They got the normal size USB on one side and the mini USB in the other, because the problem is that that cable is not only going to be for charge, that cable is going to be also for data. So besides having the positive and negative, it's going to have all the little wires that transfer data. So you don't want that because you're going to get lost. Just buy like the one that's like a car charger, that on one side you got the regular rounded car charger connector, and on the other side you got the mini USB that is angled. I saw one on eBay, I ordered it already, and that one I know is going to come only with 2 wires inside. Now the problem with that one is the cable is coming from the USB. It doesn't have these 2 separate cables like here. It's like a coaxial. So I believe, you know, the cable that is on the outer cable, the outer wires inside is going to be like the negative, I guess, and the one in the center is going to be the positive. So it's going to be a little bit harder, you know, to try to solder everything, but you know what, everything is possible. So I'm going to manage to, you know, figure that out, and I'm going to manage to use that type of or adapter that I just mentioned, so that way I can externally power the GoPro, and I don't have to be worried about adding a second camera that many people does. For me, it's a waste of time, and it's adding more dead weight on the aircraft having two cameras when the GoPro can perfectly work with that. I would love to see a company out there, the same way some company decide to make this wire so you can use the GoPro for FPV. I would like to see a company making something like this but angle. Something like this but angle, so that way you can power also the GoPro from the receiver. That would be awesome, because then you don't have to be worried about the GoPro dying on you ever again. The GoPro is going to be, as long as you can fly the whole day, and you can keep swapping batteries, and you got 10 batteries, you can keep taking one battery out, put another one in, go and fly, and keep going and going. I know the GoPro, the battery, I think they last like probably like 40 minutes or so, 40 minutes to an hour. I think that's the battery life of the GoPro. And you will have to have, you know, extra batteries and make sure they are charging and everything. With this, you won't have to ever be worried about the battery or the GoPro, you know, to be low to the point that the GoPro is going to shut off in mid-air when you're flying FPV. That's going to be, you know, a big disaster. Okay, so if you guys got, you know, old chargers, you know, lying around, just do that. Now, what I would recommend you to do is, when you do this for the first time, don't risk this thing or testing this on the GoPro to see if this thing works. Try to find some cheap piece of crap, you know, piece of equipment. Like when I did it with this camera, I didn't care if I burned it because the camera had the battery bad array. It's about, you just might find out that you connect, you wire everything the correct way, you know, like the positive is with a positive and the negative is with the negative. Okay, so try to test this thing with some insignificant piece of equipment that you have, that if you burn or damage or whatever, you know, you're not going to lose anything. Okay, and when you connect something over here, don't connect it to the receiver when you're doing that test. Also, see, you got, you know, like a little, you know, 4-cell battery pack. You know, I'm talking about 4-cell nickel metal hydride, no 4-cell lipo. You know, like got 4.8 volts, and you know, plug it with this and see it works. So that way you can make sure that this thing is not going to damage the GoPro. I mean, you don't never use the GoPro as a guinea pig. Okay, use something cheap. That's why I use this, and this one works perfectly. So you guys can do the same thing with your quad. Okay, so I guess this is pretty much the story about this quad. The two future upgrades that I'm gonna do, and once I do this upgrade, pretty much I guess I won't have to do anything else ever again on this quad. Is that I ordered the GPS antenna. I pre-ordered it, so it should be available on June 2012. And the other thing that I gonna do is the video transmitter that I have right now. I feel is not powerful enough, and for me, this is the kind of aircraft that I want to send it really high and really far. So I'm gonna try to get a video transmitter that's more powerful. Now the thing is that the equipment that I use is FOXTECH. So everything that I got is FOXTECH. The 5.8 gigahertz technology that I use is the one that FOXTECH uses. I don't use the one that you will use on FactChart. That is a different type of 5.8 gigahertz technology. I know people that they do have the FactChart video goggles. They use this, I think they call it immersion RC or something like that, video transmitters, and they go all the way up to 600 milliwatts, and they fit perfectly over here in the back of this aircraft. But I got right now a FOXTECH, 500 milliwatt that I purchased for this, but it don't fit in the back. It's like the back of this thing is like 22 millimeters from top to bottom, and the space, and the video transmitter that I got is like 26 millimeters from top to bottom, so it don't fit at all. And I saw sometimes people that they are using that same type of transmitter, they just mount it you know, like on the side of the aircraft or anything, but I don't like that. This aircraft was meant to just use the transmitter on the back, not anywhere else. So luckily, FOXTECH recently came out with a 400 milliwatt video transmitter that is exactly the same dimension, same size, same design, same style of the 200 milliwatts, which is twice the power and twice the range. So that's good news. So I'm gonna order that soon, so that way I can accomplish to fly far and fly high with this thing. I put the cloverleaf antenna over here, and I got another one for my video goggles. I got the AIO video goggles. Well, I got the Boscam version of those. So the cloverleafs might help a little bit. I do also have two video transmitters. They're RCA05, I think they are. And the only thing that I need is I got a patch antenna and I got a big high gain on the directional antenna. So the only thing that I need is to buy the video diversity equipment so I can connect the two video receivers. So I know when people fly with those type of equipment, they can fly like pretty much to the limits of the receiver itself. Now, my radio, the most it can go, the farthest it can go is like 3,000 feet. 3,000 feet away or 3,000 feet high. Cannot go further than that on line of sight. So at least if I can safely send this aircraft at least, 2,000 feet, that's all I want to do. I don't want to go beyond that. I always try to be a little bit or a lot, below the limits of the equipment that I have. But for me to do that, I doubt I'm going to accomplish that just by using the receiver of my video goggles. Maybe when I get the 400 milliwatt video transmitter, I might be able to accomplish that, and then I'm not going to need to buy a video diversity and set up a complicated FPV base station. All I have to do is just keep using my video goggles like I always do. But that's going to be, like I said, the next two future upgrades, and one of the upgrades is going to be using this same invention that I did over here, but use the angle version of this. Now, if you guys want to do this, also you can do it with a VEC. You can solder a VEC to your flight controller VEC that works from whatever voltage you can take, and it will lower it to 5 volts, and then connect this to the 5 volts, and then this thing is, instead of being powered by the receiver, is going to be powered by the main battery, but it's only going to send 5 volts to your GoPro. Okay, so this is something that you guys can do on your own. But before you do it, just make sure you try to find the angle version of this thing and just do it like that, so it's going to be safer for the GoPro. Okay, so this is it with this video review, and I just have to play a little bit with the games just to see if I can get this thing flying better than the way it's flying right now. If you guys got a similar setup, I would love to see you guys sending me the stats, the numbers of all the games that you did on your aircraft. Just remember, I fly on 4-cell lipo. I got a 3.3 3300 4-cell lipo on this aircraft. I got 4 OPTO 30M ESCs, and I got 2215 motors, 920 kVs, rocket motors from Hobby Parts. Okay, so that's how I fly. The weight of my aircraft is, with all the equipment, is 1,560 grams. That's the weight of my aircraft right now. Okay, so if you guys got something similar, just send me, if you guys can, your gain settings, so that way I'll know what's the deal with that. And also, I would like you guys to explain me what's the deal with the vertical gain. What's the purpose of that? I know about jump, I know about roll, I know about pitch. I got no clue what the hell is the vertical gain. And the altitude gain, there's 2 gains for that. So I wonder you know, what's the numbers that you guys put on those gains. You know, I got a 150 on mine, and I put the vertical gain, I think I got it on 100. Okay, the other gains I got no clue how I got them, because I got it with the switches on my radio on the X1 and the X2, and I just play with them through my radio. So I will have to hook up my aircraft to the computer and figure that out, you know, down the road. But I think I got the roll and the pitch, all of those two, they are working together and they are evenly set up. The roll and the pitch, I think they are on 140, and the jaw is on 170. I think that's the way I do have those. Okay, so please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share the video. Help me out, you know, with ideas, advice in the comment section below, and please don't forget to you know, subscribe. That's the most important thing, and hit the like button, you know. And every person that subscribes to my channel, I always subscribe back. I always do that. Okay, I know all these selfish people that get people subscribing to the channel and then they'll subscribe back. I always do subscribe back to everybody. I don't care. Okay, so please, okay, so that's all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.